right, we're now live. So, and now I just dropped my notes. Okay. So, hi everybody, how are you? Why don't we begin? I'm Mel Robbins, and I'm so thrilled that you're here. I have not done a live broadcast in a long time because I've been so focused on my daytime talk show that airs nationwide on television here in the United States that I have not had time to check in with you here on social media. And the daytime talk show has ended. It's still going to air until September, but we have shut down production due to the coronavirus. And I am back in Boston, and I have been home alone here for 36 hours. It is so eerie to be here alone. And what I want to know is, where are you tuning in from? Why don't you tell me in the comments, where are you tuning in from? And tell me how this pandemic and the swirl of fear and anxiety that it's creating around the globe, tell me how it's impacting you, okay? I'll tell you how it's impacting me in just a second. I want to give everybody a chance to come in. And if you're just joining me, welcome. I'm so thrilled that you're here. I'm Mel Robbins, and I'm the best-selling author of The 5-Second Rule and of 3 titles on Audible, Work It Out, Take Control, and Kick Ass. All books that help you take control of your life when you face setbacks or when you have huge goals. And the purpose of this live stream is to connect with you. I've been feeling very lonely. I've been feeling very isolated. I have noticed that my own fears and anxieties are going up, 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 up. Have you noticed that too for yourself, that your anxiety keeps going up, 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 that you hear one more announcement about something closing or about quarantines and your anxiety goes up, 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 up? Are you worried about parents that maybe are older? I know I am, and they don't live near me. And so the purpose of this broadcast today is to check in with you and to announce that starting today, I will be going live doing a brand new show at noon Eastern every single day. And I'm doing this show for one reason, because together we will get through this storm. And together we can keep each other grounded and connected. And together we can share tools and strategies that are working to help you stay centered, to help you move through this very challenging and disruptive time, feeling centered and with your spirit instead of letting your fears and your anxiety take over. And so every day at noon, I'm going to be going live, and it's going to be really exciting because we're going to be producing this and bringing in live guests to split screen. I'm going to be coaching some of you. So if you're having some real challenges, I'm hearing from a ton of small business owners who are terrified about how this is going to impact their business, their livelihood. And that's what we're going to be talking about. Not only how you individually can take this moment in time, because there's a couple things I want to talk about today that have helped me keep my anxiety in check. One of them is perspective, okay? It is so important to keep a very strong and centered perspective about what's happening, because I don't know whether or not this is going to last 3 weeks or 3 months, but I am certain that this will level out and this will pass and life will begin again in a new chapter. And so you must keep a perspective about the fact that we are going through something that's highly disruptive and scary. We are going to get through it together, and it will pass. And it is important to remind yourself of that, because too many of you are writing me and talking about how you're ruminating and your thoughts are catastrophizing and how afraid you are and how on edge you are. And I need to teach you the skill of keeping yourself grounded in the moment. And I need to give you some tools that will help you maintain the proper perspective as we move through this crisis together. The second thing that is going to help you is patience. This is not going to get solved overnight. And one of the things that's very clear to me is that while society doesn't seem to be prepared for something of this magnitude, there are things that you can do and that we can do together to prepare ourselves so that as we move through this chaos and this disruption and all of the things that are going to happen in the next 3 weeks or 3 months, that you stay patient, that you stay patient with being okay right now, not knowing what next week is going to be like. These are tremendous skills. And you know, what's interesting about life is that when life squeezes you, your insides come out. And there's this very famous quote, I can't remember who said it, about the fact that, you know, a challenge like this doesn't build your character. It reveals it. And what I know about you is that you have tremendous strength. You have tremendous spirit inside you. And what I believe is possible in this moment is that there is an opportunity inside of this moment to grow. There's an opportunity, if you have perspective, if you are patient, for you to be able to grow. Now look, obviously your safety, that's the number one thing. Your family, that's the number one thing. But when you get your safety in control and when you get your family okay, now we can talk about how you keep yourself okay, your mind okay, your heart okay as you move through all the uncertainty that we're facing. Because this is a gigantic moment of collective anxiety. It is a gigantic moment of collective uncertainty, which means it is also a moment for you to go inward and to build the skill of not succumbing to the fear and anxiety that is going to be swirling around you. It is an incredible moment for you to take the time that you're going to have, because I personally think what's coming is everybody's going to be quarantined for a certain matter of time until this levels out. Everyone's going to have to self-isolate. And as long as you're safe and as long as your family's safe, you need to focus on the 3 things that's going to keep you grounded and calm through this. And that's your perspective, that's being patient, and that is looking at this as an opportunity to grow and to deepen your compassion for yourself, to deepen your ability to stay calm, to deepen your ability to take something like this that is out of your control and stay centered in the moment. That is one of the most amazing skills on the planet. You know, for me, this has been a really jarring, discombobulating experience. I just want to tell you a little bit about what my experience has been in the last 3 days. And I'm sharing this because I think it's important that we find a place to talk about it. And that's why every day at noon, I'm going to be right here, and I'm going to be here to talk to you about what you're going through, and we'll be coaching you live, and I'll be bringing on amazing thinkers and friends of mine that have been helpful in calming me down. Because I don't know about you, one of the things that I've found to be really challenging this week, particularly here in the United States, is it has seemed like a series of announcements that make it get more and more and more and more scary. And so every time you turn around and you hear, oh my God, the NBA is not in season. Oh my gosh, March Madness. Oh my gosh, Broadway's now closed. Oh my gosh, Walt Disney. Oh my gosh, the president is having a press conference. What's going to happen next? One of the things that I have found to be super helpful is I have assumed that I'm going to be here in my house for the next 3 weeks to 3 months. That's what I've assumed. Because assuming that and assuming everything's about to close has allowed me to have the proper perspective so that now any announcement that happens, I'm like, yep, I expected that. The second thing that has helped me a lot in assuming that that's just what's going to happen is it allows me to then do what I need to do to take care of the two things that you need to take care of, your family and your safety. And I'm going to talk about a tool called Span of Control that my friend Carrie Lorenz just taught me that has helped me a lot to deal with safety and to deal with my family. Okay, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But one of the things that I think is really important is that once you get your safety taken care of, and once you know that your family is safe, now we have an opportunity, everybody, to come together and to support each other in staying connected and in staying grounded and in staying strong and calm through this unprecedented moment that we're all going through. So where did I want to go from there? Oh, I was sharing what happened to me. So if you've just tuned in, why don't you tell me where are you watching this from? And tell me a little bit about how this coronavirus and the global response is impacting you personally. And what are you worried about? Okay. For me, I knew that things in the United States were moving toward a shutdown. And we haven't gotten there fully yet, but I fully anticipate we will. At least I'm living my life as if it's coming literally in a matter of days. And what happened for me is this is the biggest way that this has impacted me. As we were in New York City on Wednesday taping the Mel Robbins show, we had already canceled all live audiences out of an abundance of caution. We were due to tape all the way through the end of next week. And I, after Wednesday's show, walked into the control room with the entire team and expected to just debrief on the show. And Mindy Borman, my executive producer, turned to me and said, "That's it, we're a wrap, we're done." And then they announced that 2 employees at CBS, where we tape, had tested positive and that the building that we were in was getting quarantined. And just like that, my dream of hosting a daytime talk show, over. No time to say goodbye, no time to get complete, no time to thank the cast, no time to get my stuff out of the office. It was run upstairs, grab what you can from the green room and get the fuck out of the building. And it was so discombobulating that I think it took me about 36 hours to get my feet back on the planet. And so for every college or high school senior out there who has just had graduation cancel, for everybody who has just gotten a job offer and has no idea what's happening, for every one of you who is not able to get home because of travel bans, for every one of you that it's really scary, isn't it? Like, I don't want to get like super upset, but I'm just thinking about the displacement. And I'm thinking about the disappointment, and I'm thinking about all of the plans that you've had that have been disrupted. And I'm thinking about how the chaos of all of this creates a lot of fear. And for me, I spent the night in New York, and right now my husband and son are on my son's spring break. They're skiing in Western United States. Our daughter is in California in college. I have another daughter at Boston College where they just canceled classes for the year, and she's moving out. And so I immediately went into a mode, and this is why I'm telling you the tools that have helped me in the last 2 days, where I said, okay, there's a really powerful concept that I learned from Carrie Lorenz called Span of Control. And it's being borrowed as a military term, and I'm going to tell you how I've used it, okay, in order to quiet the anxiety, because I don't know about you, but when I start to get anxious about all the uncertainty, I feel my heart race, I feel my mind start to spin, I start to think about what if this, what if that, what if the other thing, what if another thing happens? And that's not helpful. Not only is it not helpful because you can't solve problems when you're in that state, it's not helpful because you start to panic, and that is super scary. And it's also not helpful because it suppresses your immune system. And so it is critical. And that's why every day at noon, we're going to be going live to help you stay connected, to give you a lifeline, to give you tools that you need so that you can deepen your compassion to yourself. You can stay calm. You can stay centered, because you are enough to deal with what's going on. You really are. You have it within you to truly not give in to the fear that this is creating, and to continue to be steady and to trust and to develop the tools that you need inside to be grounded and calm and optimistic as we move through this as a society. And so I'm going to teach you how you do it, and I'm going to reveal what I'm using to do it in real time. And I'm going to share with you what's going on in our family as we are, together in the house and limiting what we're doing. And I want to do this because I want you to turn inward in this time. And so let me go back to my story. I know I'm a little bit all over the place. So I get home, there's nobody here. And in a time of crisis, where do you want to be? With your family. You want to be somewhere safe. And so borrowing this term span of control, what is it? Well, it's a term. Carrie Lorenz happened to be the first F-14 Tomcat pilot in the history of the United States, and she's one of my dear friends. And the military term span of control is this idea that when you're in a crisis, which you're in right now, because there's so much uncertainty, you're okay right now, but there's so much uncertainty out there. In order to calm your anxiety and focus your mind, you've got to narrow your span of control. And the way that I did that for myself is very simple. I want you to pick 3 things today that you need to do that will make you feel safe, and that will make you feel safe regarding your family or safer, and that will make you feel a little bit more prepared for being still or being isolated for the next 3 weeks. Let's just start there, okay? And I want you to write those in the comments. What do you need to do? 3 things in order for you to feel safe, in order for your family to feel a little bit safer, and in order for you to feel like you could be where you are or get to the place you need to get to, so that if you were just sitting there for 3 weeks, you were going to be good, okay? Just focusing on those 3 things was super helpful for me, because it meant I don't need to worry about whether or not they're grounding domestic air travel right now. I don't need to worry about whether or not Walt Disney is closed. I don't need to worry about what's going to happen in May or June. Already my talk show's been canceled. Already I've had numerous speaking events canceled. Already my kids' colleges have been canceled. Already all kinds of stuff has happened. But I don't need to worry about that, and neither do you. You need to worry about what's one step you can take in order to feel safe, what's one step you can take to make your family safe, and what's one step you can do to be prepared. Those 3 things are within your span of control. Again, we don't know if society's prepared, but you can be prepared mentally. So what did I do? First of all, to keep myself safe, I made sure and got to Trader Joe's, and I stocked up, not selfishly, not crazy tons of stuff, but just enough so that if we needed to, be here at the house for up to 3 weeks, that we would be fine. The second thing that I did is I immediately got Chris and Oakley and my daughter in California on planes. They're all flying today and will be home tonight. The third thing that I did is I just connected with my friends to make sure that they were okay. And that's all that's in my span of control right now. Oh, I know the other thing that I did. I connected with my dad and mom, and they were in Florida, and they're now driving back to Michigan. Why? Well, because I think we all feel much better knowing that if something happens and they need to be quarantined or isolated, which I think, honestly, the way that I'm operating, everybody, is when you plan, you're in control. So I'm planning for the United States to be operating the way that Italy is, in a complete lockdown, in order to contain and level this thing out, which is what I think should happen. We should do it sooner rather than later. I'm operating like that because it is lessening my anxiety because I'm taking control. So knowing that my parents are going home, knowing that my kids are getting back here and my husband and son are getting back here and we've moved up their flights, knowing that I've got enough food without being a greedy stockpiler to get us through the next 3 weeks, knowing that spring is coming, I can now calm down and focus on the opportunity of this. Because I think that this is the one time in your life you will likely go through something like this. And tell me one time that you went through a challenge and it didn't make you stronger. Every single challenge you face in your life makes you a stronger person. And this is going to be exactly the same way. So now that I have a plan, because I've narrowed my span of control to my safety, my family's safety, and getting prepared, now I can focus on how to turn in and be positive and be optimistic and to be centered. And here's the other thing. I think it's really important right now, if you're a single parent or if you're disconnected from your family, I think it's really important to ask out for help. Really important to ask for help right now. I'm sure that there are students in your area that are displaced. I'm sure that there are neighbors that are scared to go to the grocery store. So if you're disconnected from your parents and you're not near them and you can't travel to them, maybe you can call somebody that lives near them to go to the grocery store for them. Maybe you can order something on Amazon and send it to them. There are ways for you to take action, which is what's going to calm you down in order to be prepared and to feel safe. So that's what I'm going to be doing every day at noon. I'm going to feel a lot better when my husband and son and 2 daughters walk in the door tonight. But you need to have perspective that this is going to pass. You need to be patient with everybody that you come in contact with. And once you've handled your safety and your family's safety and you feel that you've prepared yourself to be able to be quiet and to be isolated for 3 or 4 weeks, now you can turn inward and start to look at this as an opportunity. Because I honestly think it is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to not get lost in fear. It's an opportunity to go through this with your spirit and your compassion and your kindness leading you. It's an opportunity for you to deepen your connections with yourself and with your family members and with your friends. It's an opportunity, if you are a small business, to think about innovating. And it's an opportunity for you to do some of those creative projects, to slow down a little bit, to invest in your growth by reading more and by taking on projects and being with your family. And if right now you're scared and you're alone, this is a moment to ask for help. Now, I'm getting a ton of questions about whether or not this is recorded. Yes, it is. You will be able to watch it indefinitely. You can share it with absolutely everybody. On Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, and on LinkedIn. And you also should know that every single day at noon, I am going live, and we are doing a brand new show that is all about helping you and me go through this together. So, what do you need to know? I do have a request for you. I want to name this show. And I would love to hear your ideas for what the title of this show should be. I was thinking, should it be Better Together with Mel Robbins? Should it be Stay Grounded with Mel Robbins? Should it be I don't know. Give me your ideas. I would really, really, really love to know what we should call this thing. Because every day at noon, I'm going to go live for one reason, and it's to stay connected to you through this unprecedented moment of collective anxiety. It's to help you stay centered and grounded in your spirit, in your kindness, in your compassion, in your strength. It's to use this moment in time that is very nerve-wracking and scary and anxiety-producing, to use this moment of time to help us as a community build better skills to stay grounded and to not succumb to fear and to stay connected and not succumb to anxiety and to stay optimistic and not succumb to the habit of ruminating with paralyzing worries. And so every day at noon, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here as a lifeline. I'm going to be here as a teacher. I'm going to be here as a coach. I'm going to be here as a fellow human being who is wrestling with the same things you're wrestling with in this time of uncertainty. And we are going to build an enormous community of people who get together every day live at noon to share stories, to get coaching, to work on the mental strength and the heart strength that you need in order to be compassionate with yourself and to move through this and let your spirit shine and not let your fear take over. So I will see you tomorrow at noon Eastern. I will see you every day at noon Eastern. I would love to know what we should call this show. And I'm going to let you guys pick the title of the show. So just put it in the comments what you think we should call this show. At some point, we'll name it next week. In the meantime, all you need to know is that I'm here for you every single day at noon Eastern. And we will get through this together. And better days are coming. And one of the things that I'm grateful for, tell me, let's end it this way. What's one thing you're grateful for? Seriously, what's one thing you're grateful for right now? Because perspective is everything. I'm grateful for the fact that as I look out my window here outside of Boston, Massachusetts, that spring is coming. And I'm reminded when I see the branches on the trees outside that have been bare through the winter, and they are starting to green up and little buds of leaves are starting to come. I am reminded of the seasons that come and go in my life. And I'm reminded of the growth that is coming. And I'm reminding that barren times pass and brighter days come. And just like those trees that I see outside the window right now have these deep roots that keep them grounded through storms and grounded through periods of darkness and keep them growing so that they can blossom again in the warmth of the sun and in the springtime. Your life is the exact same way. And this is temporary. And I am so grateful looking out the window for the reminder that spring is coming in our lives. So I'll see you tomorrow at noon. Stay safe. Stay grounded. Stay kind to the people that you bump into. Please don't yell at the person who's working in a call center and has no idea why the airline won't refund your ticket. Please don't be impatient with the long checkout lines at all the stores right now. All of those folks that are working at those cash registers and stocking those shelves, they have people at home they're worried about. And they're out there anyway helping all of us. Please smile at people. Please take a deep breath. Please remind yourself that with the proper perspective that this is passing, with patience, with kindness, and with this inward focus, that there is an opportunity inside this, you guys, I know it, that none of us can see. And when we come through this, and we will, and we're going to do it together, you will be stronger for it. And I'm grateful for the fact that we have each other. And in case nobody else tells you this today, I'm going to tell you that I love you and I believe in you and our collective ability to get through this and have the best of us come out while at noon. Share this with all your friends so we can build an awesome community of people, all right? Gathering at noon Eastern every single day online to build each other up and stay connected.